Hi everyone, welcome back to Be Rich. It's me, Vinod. Rupesh and me were discussing off camera the other day about an Instagram forward he had seen about the concept of how instead of buying something or seeking immediate gratification, postponing it and investing it, how it can be leveraged and it can enable you to become wealthy at the same time, finally reach a point where you can afford to buy it without taking a loan, whatever that is you desire. So Rupesh said, is this true? He wanted to know. So he sat and he worked out on three things that matter the most to him. One is the concept of buying a house or buying a piece of land. The other was a two-wheeler, him thinking of buying a two-wheeler. And for the mix of it, he threw in a car also. Let's say I want to aspire to buy a car to see if this holds true. None of these stocks I'm recommending that you buy. They're not stocks I'm asking you to consider. It's just a thought experiment to show you the power of investing and how investing can create wealth and enable you to do things which you would have probably not thought is possible. So that is the premise of this video. It is not a stock recommendation. It is not something for you to consider. That should be based on your own assessment and your own risk tolerances and the advice of your financial advisor. Those investments should be based on that, not on some video which you just see randomly on YouTube. That being said, the first thing we thought of looking at was house. The place where Rupesh aspires to buy is somewhere in a place called Sholinganallur here in Chennai. In 2020, Rupesh found out the average price for a square feet is 4,000, 2020 that is. So he thought of half a ground would be priced around 48 lakhs. This does not include registration, it does not include anything else, it's just the price of the property. He said would be 48 lakhs. And he said, okay, he tried to think of a builder in Chennai in that area whom he really likes and admires. And the builder he thought of was Brigade. Brigade stock is being traded in the market. So he said, okay, sir, I'll go check out this stock price for 2020. And lo and behold, 48 lakhs worth of Brigade stock he had bought. He had bought 22,325 stock because the stock was being sold at 215 rupees a piece. So if he had bought it at that time, instead of buying land, he had bought the stock for 48 lakhs. Brigade today, his stock holding in Brigade alone would be worth over 2 crore 87 lakh 54,600 rupees. And he would have earned a dividend so far of payout of 1,71,000 just in dividends over the years. And he was pretty astonished because if he had bought a piece of land or a house for 48 lakhs, he feels at best he might have doubled it or made it 1 crore at today's market price. He doesn't think it would be valued at this, which I agree. His assessment seems to be right when he thinks about this. And if that is the case, he could have easily invested this. Now, today, if he wants to pick up the property and he's ready to settle down, let's say he wants to get married today, because that is the reason he was thinking of back then, that in some date, if he has to live by himself and he needs to get married, he'll have a house for himself. So he thought of buying a thing at an EMI. If he had instead done this and invested, or if he had the cash and he had, instead of putting it down on a house, he had invested it, today he'd be able to liquidate his holdings, pick up that house and still have almost 2 crores in his hand, which he could have invested again in bonds and done other things with it. So the potential he felt was immense. So then we rolled on to say, okay, this may be an anomaly. This may not be true if we looked at bikes and cars, is what Rupesh thought. So then he took out his favorite bike of choice is, of course, being a young man, is a Royal Enfield, and that's the classic 350. In 2020, the bike was being retailed at an ex-showroom price of 1,74,000. So instead of buying the Royal Enfield for 1,74,000, Rupesh said, okay, I'll take this money and buy the Escher Motor shares, which owns Royal Enfield. He would have bought 82 shares at that point of time because each share was going at 2,118 rupees a pop. And today, his holdings in Escher would be worth almost 4 lakhs, 3,96,716. And funnily enough, price of the same bike today is 2.3 lakhs. So easily he could have bought the bike and have some spare change in his hand if that was the case. And if he had paying an EMI for the same bike, he would have paid a lot more than that in terms of value of the bike because of the interest cost itself. And the dividend he would have got from this investment would have been 20,000. So not only would his share value be 3,96,000, he would have also pocketed in a cool dividend of 20,000. So that is 4 lakhs. He would have happily accumulated that. And Rupesh was quite stunned by this because he did do that. He did buy a bike. He didn't buy the Royal Enfield, of course. He bought another bike, but the similar principle applied, and he was quite stunned thinking about this. The last one, of course, is a car, and a popular car which Rupesh is aspiring to buy is the Tata Nexon. The Tata Nexon price at year 2020 was 9,04,000. So if he had bought Tata Motors shares instead, he would have bought 4,732 shares at 191 rupees a share. And today the share price is 785, which is corrected, of course. And in today's correction, his portfolio in Tata Motors would be worth 37,14,620. And the Nexon today is retailing around 12 lakhs, the one model which he's looking at. So he could have easily sold his holdings in Tata Motors, picked up the Nexon, and had some real sweet change in his hand for petrol and whatnot, or to reinvest it and to reimagine everything in life. So this is the potential of investing. And this shows you in numbers in 4 years' time. This is all from 2020 to 2024, right? So a lot of us are at this crossroad right now, what Rupesh has been mentioning. Either we're thinking about buying a house, or we're thinking about buying a bike, or we're thinking about buying a car. These are the three most common things we tend to look at when we're buying, and we're thinking about taking a loan to do this. And that's where I want you to pause and have a moment and think. I know the pressures on us domestically and mentally, it needs to be done now. A few months back, when it wasn't there on your radar, you were managing fine without this bike, this car, or this house, and things were moving on. But suddenly somewhere the bee entered your bonnet, as they say, and now you seem to be hard pressed and thinking, I have no choice, I have to do this. That's where I would ask you to pause and ask you to really consider, do you need to do it? Rupesh found it hard to answer this because he did realize that he could have actually waited for the investments he made. He could have managed without taking on a loan to buy his bike. He could have invested and he could have gotten through this, and it would have been different. This is true for any product you buy. Not only this, even phones, cars, anything you want to buy, you can look at this. Even holidays, for example. By investing in value stocks and holding them and being systematic in your investment, you can finally set yourself up for freedom. If going on a holiday once a year is something very important to you, and it's something you earn to do, meaning you long to do, that every year that you go on a holiday for 2 weeks somewhere in the world and have a good time, I suggest that you first build a portfolio, build a war chest for this holiday, such that you invest, that after 4-5 years, your investment itself will start giving you the kind of returns where your holiday becomes at zero cost to you because of your investment. Yes, Anand does say all the time that you invest and then you'll reach a position and you can forget about it. I do understand that people like Rupesh and Arun and Dana out there who need to have some gratification. They can't put out all gratification, say I'm going to have zero desires. That's not possible, I understand that. All I'm saying is plan, stagger, and invest, and then spend. That way, what you'll enjoy is, you'll enjoy the rewards, because the rewards will be that much sweeter when you have managed to save, invest, and then come to actually buying it or experiencing it. So that would be my advice. And I'm glad that Rupesh sat down and he put this down for me to share with you, because it was something we were discussing off camera, and I thought it would be of great value and interest to you, because a lot of you are young, a lot of you are just starting in your investment journey, and a lot of you have been doing the hard work this year, and as the year is coming to a conclusion, you're feeling really tired sometimes. I can understand, any journey can be trying at times, especially like when you're climbing a mountain. As you head towards the peak, it's when it gets harder and harder. And yes, this year has been a hard year for a lot of us, and we have managed to get through it. And if you've been steady in your investment, I congratulate you. If you've not been so steady and you've been on and off, I can understand. It happens to the best of us. It happens to me too. There have been days when I've missed. There have been days when I've been successful. It's not a problem. The point is, if we have more successful days than the days we missed, overall, we make progress. That is the key thing which I want you to remember. Thanks for watching the video as always. Do put in your feedback and comments down. Rupesh just read them, and it will be heartwarming for him to see some words of encouragement from you guys about all this effort he put down to make this video for you. Again, thanks, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.
Hey guys, that my uncles Vinod Srinivasan, Anand Srinivasan and I have rolled out our Substack, which is basically a blog/newsletter where we're going to post our original research onto it, and we've analyzed macroeconomic trends. And a lot of you know my uncle Anand Srinivasan and I regularly write for The Hindu, and these articles are also going to be made available for you in the Substack. The link is moatinvesting.substack.com. You'll find it in the description and in the video right now. We hope you go check it out. We've put a lot of time and effort into it. And please give us comments and feedback on what you read. Thank you.